You get another chance to do this, Gunner. Aren't you excited?
Yeah.
We talked to Baylor about the connection, having the chance to have the TD pass and make those plays. What did it mean to you?
It meant a lot, especially just seeing how hard my older brothers worked. It was one of the coolest touchdowns I've caught because my brother, he deserved that. He deserves everything that he gets because of how hard he's worked for it. And so I think really that's what made it so cool.
Even Baylor said that, traditionally a guy shouldn't lose a job because of an injury. And I know Baylor's pushing Jaron to be there as much as it is. What's that like for you because of the brother relationship, the friendship you have with Jaron and, even Jacob and those guys, that whole situation, how do you deal with it emotionally just because these are guys you care about and you want to see them all be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I just try not to pay attention to it really. I mean, whoever's going to be the starter is going to be my quarterback, and I'm going to be catching balls from him. But in the end, it's not my decision. It's Coach Roderick and the offensive coordinator's decision. So I mean, I just leave that up to them. I try not to stress about it.
Mitch, do you have a question?
Yeah, Gunner, is there a little bit more incentive with this game this week with a trophy at stake? The wagon wheel, you guys had that 2 years ago up in Logan, and there's a big celebration after. Is that incentive at all to add to this week's game?
A little bit for sure. I mean, they are a rival. We want to go in there to their home field and get a win. But in the end, it's just another game. It's just another. We look at games 1 week at a time, and this is the game that we have next. And so, really, it should be treated as any other game should be.
Was on Saturday's game against USF, did you guys feel like, I mean, was that kind of a breakthrough performance for the offense where he's only had about 50 plays and he scored 35 points still? Was it a situation where you felt like anytime you guys got the ball, you were going to put up points?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing we've talked about as an offense is we needed to get going, we needed to find a rhythm, and I think we finally found it, and hopefully it'll carry on throughout the whole season because we've been looking for that breakout that we had.
Let's go Jared and then Jake.
We've talked to some of the guys, Gunner, about going on the road for the first time, but I wanted to ask about having a day less of preparation. These game weeks seem to fly by. I know you guys have a lot of work that you try and get in. What difference does that have? Because you guys have been through it before. Does it make a difference when you're a day short?
Yeah, it for sure does, and that's one thing that people kind of pick up the urgency a lot, but it's hard because when you come back, usually on Monday, it's more of a recovery type day. We practice lighter without shoulder pads and kind of take that day to review film from the past game. But we can't do that this week. We have to jump right into it. Even though some of us may be beat up, some of us are still sore from Saturday. We just got to jump right into it because we leave on Thursday to go up there. So we'll really only have 3 full days of practice. So we got to jump on that immediately, and it does add urgency, and it takes away some time of preparation. So we just have to use the time that we have because it's more valuable.
And I don't know how much you've looked at, but what have you seen from Utah State's defense so far?
I really haven't looked at them too much yet. That's what today's for. But they're a solid defense. They're very very much improved from the last time we played them, and so we got to go in and just have the mentality that they're going to be a great team, and we got to play our best to beat them.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, Gunner, I know we've asked you this question in the past, especially when you and Baylor played together before, but how cool is it to have your brother throwing passes to you?
No, it's an awesome experience. Sometimes I forget that, playing Division I football is not a lot of people get to do that, and then especially with my brother here, there's been only a handful of people. We have a couple other brothers on the team, but no quarterback receiver connections that I can think of, and so it's a really cool experience, and sometimes I forget about how unique this experience is that we're going through.
Looks like we got a last question from Sean Walker.
Gunnar, I'll make this one really quick, but you talked about the wagon wheel, and I think it's one of the coolest and maybe most underrated trophies in college football, whether this is a rivalry game or not. I think you've been able to lift up that wheel maybe once before in your career. How heavy is that thing?
Yeah, you're not lifting it up by yourself, that's for sure. It's pretty stocky, but I'm hopefully looking forward to lifting it up again with a couple of my teammates this weekend.
Okay, well, thank you, Gunnar, for joining us. Appreciate your time today, and thanks everyone else for joining us on this call.
Of course, thank you.